Hello everyone, I am Miss Bizz, and I am here on Aewnes, my Magplar, who you will see me do trials with, dungeons, and my Somerset Let's Play, my upcoming Murkmire Let's Play. I have been asked what my build is because I appear to just slice through everything, and that is a lot more skill and practice than you think, but I'll let you in on what I use and why. First of all, I'd like to point out that pretty much I use Alcast's builds as guidance. I'll use his build, see where I'm at, and then tweak it to how I want it. I'm actually pretty sure I'm probably identical to his build right now. So what I am wearing is Vulcan Scoria, Pauldrons, and Helmet. You can get this from the City of Ash 2 dungeon. City of Ash 2 is one of the more difficult dungeons. If you wanted, you could also wear something like Grothdar if you're going to be up close all the time, but I'm built to be fully ranged, or even something like a Lambre would work, even though we have no lightning damage. Next up, I am wearing Burning Spellweave, and Sororia. Burning Spellweave can be got from City of Ash dungeons, so you can even do City of Ash 1 for this, and Sororia, which is from Cloud Rest. If I didn't have Sororia, something else you could use is, you could definitely go ahead and just use Julianos. That would be good to use, but Sororia's, you know, a little bit better than that, but it takes some learning to stay inside the circle you create. I do use a front bar Burning Spellweave Inferno Staff and back bar VMA Staff. Keep in mind that when I am on my back bar, I actually do not have the Burning Spellweave bonus. It's only available on my front bar. If you're trying to follow along, you could use, and you don't have VMA staff, you could also just use 2 Burning Spellweave staffs or 2 Sororia, or if you're using Julianos, 2 Julianos staffs. What I use for food is actually a blue food. Any health and max Magicka food that is your level will work. If you don't have very good support, Witchmother's Potent Brew is very helpful. I'm a high elf, so I get extra Magicka regen, so that's why I'm kind of able to get away with the blue food. Of course, not when I'm doing my Let's Play. When I'm doing my Let's Play, I'm definitely not using these, but when I am doing Dungeons and Trials, I am using good crafted pots. To make these, you use cornflour, lady smock, and water, whatever, or Nemera's Rot. You go ahead and use those. I only use them when I'm doing very difficult content. Otherwise, I just use the trash Magicka pots you pick up off the ground. Alright, skills! I use Elemental Weapon from the Sigil questline. Having all the passives for the Sigil questline made a huge difference in my DPS. So if you're going to use Elemental Weapon, get all the passives. Then I use Radiant Glory. To be honest, if you have a hard time staying alive, take the other morph that heals you. Inner Light from the Mages Guild. Blazing Spear, which is cool, it's getting a buff in Murkmire. And Purifying Light. Keep in mind, if you're healer or you have other Magplar DPS using Purifying Light, you're going to be overwriting each other's Purifying Light, and it's a mess. I just hope that I don't have to play with other Magplars. Blockade of Fire. Vampire's Bane. Inner Light again, Harness Magicka, which is your light armor shield, and Child Focus. Child Focus is huge with my survivability, especially the difficult content. It also helps with your sustain. You want Child Focus down all the time. So what do? Well, you guys see it in my, I'm going to show you my rotation and just like once through it so you can see what the heck it is. If you're doing overland content, pretty much you slice through them right away. So I'm going to put down my Child Focus, and then I'm going to Blockade, Light Attack, Vampire's Bane, Light Attack, Weapon Swap, Purifying Light, and then I'm going to use 3 of the elemental weapons. Now, just to keep in mind, after the elemental weapons, I use Shard, then I start all over again. Keep in mind that I do weave. That means I use a light attack in between all of my abilities. This becomes especially important when you're using the Sigil order thing, because how elemental weapon works is it doesn't actually do anything when you press the button for the skill. It adds to your next light attack within 2 seconds. So pressing this button does literally nothing, no damage to my enemy. What matters is that I press it and then I light attack right away. So if you can't weave and you're not very good at weaving, you probably don't want to use that ability. I did notice it was a big DPS buff when I started using it, but otherwise you could use Puncturing Sweep or whatever. Puncturing Sweep, if you like to be melee, like you'll have to be up close for Puncturing Sweep, or you can use the very first skill on the Destruction Staff skill line, Crushing Shock, which is the morph I like to keep because it interrupts and it just has crazy awesome utility. As for my champion points, I'm going to show you my blue champion points, which don't change. I did follow Alcast, and I used the add-on Constellations to kind of tweak them. So just look on the screen right now to see where I have all of my champion points. Feel free to pause it if I'm going too quickly, and you can't write it down. Your red champion points, I'm not going to show you because they change constantly. Every time I do a different trial, I change my red champion points. When I'm doing overland content, go ahead and go to Alcast's website. What he has laid out for your red champion points is a pretty generic, good overall setup to use for overland content, but I just leave mine in whatever setup I had for whatever the last trial I did was. So there is where all my champion points are. I am max champion points. If you are not max champion points, super important things are like Elfborn, but pretty much all your blue stuff is important. But you just, yeah, I don't know. Try to make it happen. If you're lower CP, you're going to have a harder time with sustain. You're definitely going to want to use Witch Mothers if you can get it. You get that from the Witches Festival, which is coming up super soon, guys. So definitely go and get some of those recipes so that you can make your own Witch Mother's brew. You can also buy it from guild traders, either the drink or the recipe straight up. But this is my Magplar build. And I don't even really want to call it my build because it's pretty much Alcast's build, but you guys want to know what I'm using, so I decided to show you. Something else to note, I forgot to tell you my ultimates. I use Empowering Sweep on my front bar, or sorry, on my back bar. I don't actually use that ultimate ever. Ever. Never touch that ultimate unless it's by accident. That is straight up just for a passive in that skill line. The only one I use is the ultimate from the Destruction Staff, which is Fiery Rage. Keep in mind, if you haven't leveled Destruction Staff all the way, you could also use Meteor. If you haven't leveled Meteor all the way, you could use Nova. That's pretty much it. That is my build. Hope you guys enjoy it. I don't know, that's what I do, even though it's not really my build at all, it's someone else's. But, ta-da! There you go. I'm probably going to be changing it come Berkmeyer, so stay tuned. Bye! Alright, I decided I should probably show you a dummy parse, so I'm going to use a 3 million dummy. Just so you know, when I dummy parse, I change out my shield for Elemental Drain as well. I always use Witch Mother's Brew because I need that sustain because I have no sustain support from teammates. So, let's see what I do. I totally forgot to use my execute. By the way, after 20%, you're supposed to start using your execute, which I totally didn't do. But right there, I just randomly parsed 36k on a 3 million dummy. And that's how I did it. Thanks. Bye.